The following is a presentation of CBC Sports.
After a challenging season, Canadians Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford land in Boston ready to defend their World Pairs title. With a deep field here, they'll need to be at their absolute best. The Russian team of Ksenia Stolbova and Fedor Klimov won the Grand Prix final. And last year's world silver medalist Sui and Han of China will provide formidable competition. While the return of the Olympic and former world champions Tatiana Volososhar and Max Trankov will make things even more interesting. The pair's short program takes center stage at the World Figure Skating Championships. Road to the Olympic Games, presented by Petro-Canada. April arrives in Boston, a sure sign of spring in New England, but it's best not to be fooled. Some say this can be the cruelest month, and when you're skating on ice at high speed with a partner by your side at the World Championships, it takes two to be great and find the winning combination in the pairs. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Garden. Road to the Olympic Games on CBC and the 2016 ISU World Figure Skating Championships. The pairs and the potential for excitement here is huge. Think of it, two skaters on the ice at the same time trying to work in unison. But it's a high wire act. So many moving parts, lifts and throws, side-by-side spins and jumps. It can be exciting to watch, but then again, anything can happen. You know, the Russians love the pairs. Over the years, 23 times they've been the world champions in this discipline. But the Canadians, Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford, are the defending pairs champions. They won their title last year in Shanghai, and they vow to be great again here in Boston. This could be a wild ride, so buckle up and let's get going with the pairs. Here are Andy Petrillo, Kurt Browning, and Carol Lane.
Thank you, Scott, and let's begin with those Canadians, Megan and Eric, and they have been on the World Championship podium the last 3 years, but as you had mentioned last year, they finally were crowned champions after 2 straight years of bronze. But Carol, it's been a very tricky season for the Canadians.
Well, it has, and what set Megan and Eric apart in the past was their ability to do more difficult, more consistent technical elements than anybody else in the world. But a year has passed, and the other teams have caught up.
They were unable to defend their Four Continents title. She had to withdraw, or they both had to withdraw because she was dealing with an illness. They did defend their national title, but they were unable to defend their Grand Prix final title as well. That ended up going to the Russian pair, Stolbova and Klimov, who are a bit on a comeback trail themselves. However, they withdrew from World Championships last year.
They did.
What's the rumor there?
The rumor, well, what they said is that they wanted to train bigger new elements with only a few weeks before Worlds. Did they know that it's a whole year till the next championship? So it didn't really make sense. Talk around the water cooler, they were intimidated by the technical skill of Megan and Eric. Since that time, they have rejuvenated themselves, made themselves a force once again. They won the Grand Prix final, they put up big numbers, and they could win this event as well.
Well, Fedor's been dealing with some injuries. They've been off the ice. They actually had to withdraw from Euros and Nationals. So we'll see what kind of product they can bring here this time around to Worlds. But another Russian pair you want to keep your eye on, the Olympic gold medalists, Volososhar and Trankov, dealing with injury as well this season, but they have been looking so good. Yes, they won Euros, they won Nationals. What do you like about them?
Everything.
I agree. Okay, let's start with Tatiana's line. She's a beautiful skater with wonderful extension, and I love the flow she has out of the twist. Max has a wonderful diva personality that makes him interesting, but that twist, that first element that you just saw, makes them stand out for me.
But they do not have a quad throw because Max has made it very clear he's not chucking his wife through the air 4 times under any circumstances.
They got married in August, so it's new. give it some time.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah,
see it
that will
after that. Well, let's take a look at the other two Canadian pairs who are here at World Championships. Ilya Shishkina, Moskovich, been together a couple years now, so they are the 2015 Canadian silver medalists, finished third this season. Moore Towers, Marinaro, also the new pair. If you remember, Moore Towers, Moskovich were together. They actually finished fourth. Julian Seguin, Charlie Bilodeau, that young couple making a splash on the senior debut this season, had to pull out because of injury. So Moore Towers and Marinaro are here at Worlds. For more, let's go back ringside with Scott.
Thanks very much, Andy. As I mentioned off the top, Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford won their pairs title last year in Shanghai, the People's Republic of China. Afterwards, they both said the feeling was the greatest in the world. Now, much of this season has been about trying to recapture that feeling. And in order to do it, they're both going back to the source.
Eric and I feel like our season has been a little bit more difficult than the season in the past. Looking at our results, one would not assume that it has been such a roller coaster, but we know that we've been capable of achieving better results and better scores than we've put out this season.
We really figured out how we wanted to feel last season when we were going into a competition. And I think we kind of thought that would just automatically happen again this season, you know? We could just repeat. And somehow we weren't really able to get that same feeling until recently.
After the national championships, we really made a 360 with our training and with our skating.
5-time national pairs champions.
We're here at Erica's Loft in the Old Montreal to do a vinyasa yoga class for a great recovery after a tough training day. We're going to basically do a nice full body vinyasa class with her to open up her joints and release her muscles and make sure that Megan stays nice and healthy. I started doing yoga a little bit when I first moved to Montreal, and it was around the same time that I started to become a vegan as well.
When I'm at the piano and when I'm writing music, like nothing else exists except like limitless possibilities at my fingertips. And I feel like right at this moment in my career, I don't have as much time as I would like just to sit there and really, you know, write out every song that's in my head. Eventually, I love to catalog them all and then just, you know, apply myself to music the way I've applied myself to skating and just see how far I can go in that world.
We're here at my house. I'm gonna make a quinoa power bowl. I became vegan at first purely for a nutritional standpoint. I learned about dairy products and that we didn't need dairy products or meat and the hormones and the antibiotics that were in meat. The decision turned over to be a little bit more ethical over the years. As I learned about how animals were treated, I try to make sure that not only am I vegan, I'm eating a completely clean and whole foods diet. So when I'm making my breakfast, I'm thinking, what am I going to eat that's going to fuel me to train better, focus for a longer period of time, and at night it's more about what can I eat that's going to help me recover faster before I go back to training tomorrow.
In the last couple weeks, I can feel it inside myself that goal of going to Worlds, having a great skate with, you know, the aim to win it's just so much more clear. And I feel so much more driven towards it.
We might be going into this competition as the defending world champions, but we have been past this season, and I feel like we're a little bit of the underdogs. I think people are expecting the Russians and the Chinese to beat us, but we're ready to fight to make sure that that doesn't happen.
We know what our job is, we know how to make it happen. It's just a matter of going there, staying in our own little bubble, and then letting it happen.
Every day in training now, I can feel that attack, like this is our world championship, and it's our world title, and I want to keep it.
Zhuhan Wang, Lei Wang of China, second year together. Very interesting with this pair. They were not sent to 4 continents, so that actually hurt their points, and that's why we're seeing where they are here as far as the short program, the very first pair to go, and they were just named to Worlds on March 25th. Welcome.
The Chinese Figure Skating Federation is a law unto itself. Some of its decisions are very mysterious, and they actually displaced the 2-time junior world champions Yu Jin to be at this competition, and they struggled this year, so here is Wang and Wang.
And as you can tell immediately, China has a stable full of talent that they can, and that does keep each skater on their toes trying to keep up. Speaking of toes, they're going to do 2 of them right now in the triple variety. Nope. Chinese teams known for their throws long across the ice.
Wow, that was even a more vertically high one than we're used to seeing.
I agree.
Very nice side-by-side footwork sequence. Nice edges and ice coverage.
Zhuan Wang and Lei Wang of China getting things started here in the short program for the pairs.
With a very dramatic flair.
She's a beautiful little girl, isn't she? You can always see with the Chinese skaters, they pay a lot of attention to ballet in their training. Their arms, the arms of the ladies are always beautiful.
And you learn a lot about a skater when you're on the ice with them all day in rehearsals, and she just naturally moves across the ice with an elegance. She doesn't have to turn it on because it's never off.
And considering they were sort of a last-minute replacement for this competition, they skated with great confidence, didn't look out of place at all.
And of course, you remember that she did fall early in the program on the triple toe, but I'll be honest, I didn't really see a problem with it in the air, so we'll have to watch in slow-mo. And you can see her keeping her hands above her partner to show the judges that she is not assisting in the catch at all. And here we go. Shuhan will take a tumble here. Oh, it was a little lean, and their legs got loose as well. So.
And the side-by-side triple jumps will be a bit of a benchmark in the short program for the teams. It's something that you can easily spot to see who does them and who doesn't, and that will be a big separation factor.
Another one will be the entrances and exits of all the lifts, and whether or not they met the requirements necessary for different levels within those lifts, positions, difficult positions, depending on how they hold hands, or if they hold hands.
I expected this triple loop to go further, but it went higher instead.
It really did. And right after I said all the Chinese throws go across the ice,
they just did it to spite you.
Yes, they did.
Let's see how close they can get to their season's best, which is 69.36 in the short program.
Hung Bo Zhao is Olympic medals at home. Today, he just decided to wear the scarf.
He rocks that scarf. He wears that all the time. It's a great look on him. Always difficult when you're the first skater because you have nothing to compare anything to, so you sit there in the kiss and cry, twiddling your thumbs.
Well, they're ready for the marks now.
I'll bet they're in first.
Their short program score.
Something tells me you're psychic.
You're so clever.
57.32.
So way off their season's best. And they will have some work cut out for them, but 57.32 for the Chinese pair. That was just named to the World Championships.
Let's welcome
A lot of Canadian fans making the trek to Boston. That's why you hear the loud cheers, and we can see a lot of the Canadian flags. Lubov, Ilyushichkina, Dylan Moskovich representing Canada. National bronze medalist this season.
Nobody bumped the thermostat. That's just Lubov and Dylan raising the heat in the arena. Their offering of the triple toes.
Good for them. It's been a bit of an issue for them in the past, but not today.
They're going to prove that all throws are not equal. Triple Lutz throw, give them a bonus points. Oh, especially when you do it like that. Beautiful direction changes, very difficult to match your partner.
Beautiful, complex step sequence created for them. So well done to the music. Well done, David Wilson.
Oh, she does that so well
She
all the
does.
time.
They're creating a nice energy between them, keeping the theme going. Hand-to-hand lift, you'll see that entrance into the lift repeated by the teams.
How about a little Led Zeppelin to get your day started? Lubov, Ilyushichkina, Dylan Moskovich representing Canada. Crowd liking this one. We will have their marks when we return here on Road to the Olympic Games. Welcome back to Road to the Olympic Games, presented by Petro-Canada here in Boston. For the 2016 World Figure Skating Championships, the Canadians taking their bows here after their short program. And this is a pair that just teamed up last year and qualified for the World Championships, finishing 13th. Both of them have had success in the past with other partners, and maybe some bumps, would you say, their second year? I mean, things went so well in the first year, second year still trying to figure things out, but here they are at Worlds again.
Well, I was going to say, that is the most confident performance I have seen from Luba and Dylan. up to date. They looked like they have finally gelled as a team. There were no hesitations. They were totally together all the time, and they've stopped looking for one another, which I find very interesting. They're now operating on instinct and training, which is when you know they're a real team.
Cool. And they set a tone. The music can, well, this is
Make
a
it or
tough
break
piece of
it,
music,
right?
you know,
Yeah.
because you either got it or you don't. And, you know, great team around them. Lee Barkell, Bryce Davidson, Tracy Wilson, and David Wilson did a great job.
Oh,
We've
yeah, that
also worked
step
with,
sequence is going to stay with me all day.
Just shout out to my buddy Jeff Tyler, working with them as an acting coach. You know, so they've really gone the extra distance to make this program work, and then technically nailed it.
Yes.
So the framework was there and the artwork was there. It was all good.
And Dylan is always so secure in the lifts. I always say, if I was going to let anybody pick me up, it would be Dylan Moscovich, because he's so secure. His turning skills, watch his feet. He's doing what we call mohawks as he turns.
Nobody's watching his feet, because
I am.
Lubov, what Lubov is doing up there is remarkable. She can create shapes and images, you know, shapes, I'll stick with that, that hardly any other lady can do up there.
Well, you mentioned it is the most confident they've looked together this season. Their season's best is 63.80. See if they can do better than that. I feel they can, because, again, we've been watching them all season long. And there were just little missteps. A lot of times it was Lubov maybe not having the faith in herself.
Yeah.
And she looked great there.
She looked awesome. I was totally impressed with them today. Good for them. I love Dylan. He's such a great guy. I love you too, Luba.
And here come the marks for the Canadians. Remember, season's best, 63.80. Yeah, Dylan waiting for it. Yeah, there you go. Season's best for them, 68.17. So they are rewarded for what we are saying is their best short program of the season.
No, their career.
Career. There you go, of their career.
All 2 years of it.
Valentina Marquet, Andre Hotarak of Italy. Andre, the husband of Anna Capellini, who we saw yesterday, part of the ice dance couple. They
Nice
just
to have someone to share your stress with at Worlds.
Yeah, they just got married this summer. Her competition is over. His is just beginning.
When Valentina would compete as a single skater at the world level, she often needed a partner to share all her passion with. She now has a place to put it.
Doing a different side-by-side triple this time, going with the Salchow.
And worth slightly more than the toe as well.
Like the Canadians, this pair, this is their second year together. A lot of success last year, still struggling with consistency in their second year. Seems to be a bit of a theme.
Not the cleanest catch that they were hoping for either in that particular twist. You just don't want to give the judges a reason to take anything away from you.
And this is another team that changed their short program music after the European Championships. So now she is Carmen.
interesting choice to do the side-by-side steps in a program that should have so much connection between the two people.
Well, you have that required element. You can't get away from it.
Well, that was interesting. There's an ending for the Italian pair, Valentina Marquez, in pairs for the first time last season with Andre Hodorak. They were national champions in 2015, their first season together. This year, national silver medalists. Let's see if they can improve on their world standing.
Once again,
Welcome back to Road to the Olympic Games, presented by Petro-Canada. There are the Italians, Marquez and Hodorak, 11th at Worlds last year. No doubt looking for a top 10 finish this time around.
Well, it's amazing that Valentina's only been in pairs 2 years, and she credits being in Montreal this year, training with Duhamel Radford, the world champions, in learning how to do the more difficult elements and feeling more confident with them, and watching Megan and Eric every day just gave her a new appreciation of how hard she had to work to get everything together.
Yep. Her rotation, she didn't quite get the snap into the rotation on the twist, and she did come down a little short. Andre's a pro, he knew how to handle that problem, but the judges would have seen it. And Valentina took the attack that she had as a single skater and fearlessness as an athlete and a competitor. And it's a good place for her in the pairs event, actually.
Yeah, she's found her niche. She's totally committed to everything she does. There's no hesitation, no holding back.
And then she's a good jumper as a single skater, so her awareness in the air allows her to show off. There it is.
I always love it when they figure out they're on the big screen. Yeah. So start blowing kisses
you
to
mean
the crowd.
in the building?
In
Yes.
the building, yeah. So here come the marks for the Italians. 68.18 is what they're going to be looking for if they want to take the lead.
their show program score
Here they come.
is
59.76. That will put them in second behind the Canadians.
Yep. A good clean skate, but the level's a little lower than the Canadians, and so the math doesn't add up.
Well, speaking of the Canadians, here's Scott.
Luba and Dylan, what a great way to start the World Championships with a personal best in the short program. And it started with the great jump side by side. Nailed them. Was it that good?
It was very good. we started with a twist, and yeah, we set up the pace, and every single element was by its own, but overall it was a wonderful picture. And finally we showed the work we've done through the whole season. It was on and off, but we are very happy with the performance.
And Dylan, I want you to extol the virtues of your partner here because that was a unique entry to the death spiral, something very unique to your team.
Well, my partner is uniquely flexible and creative, and actually she came with that entrance in her bag. And I think the second day we tried out, she's like, I've always wanted to try this. And I was like, let's do it. And it's been a hit ever since then. And it was a little tricky figuring out the tracking and where I need to be and when, because it's, you know, all the focus is on her, but I can't kind of skate right into her. But it's fun. It's interesting, and I like that we have something different.
Congratulations, and keep things going.
Thank you.
representing Canada. Here are Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael Arnott.
Here is another Canadian pair, Kirsten Moore-Towers, Michael Marinaro. Scary spill for them at Nationals. They ended up finishing fourth there, but named to the World's team after Julian Sagan, Charlie Bilodeau pulled out with injury. This team wanting to prove that they deserve to be here.
Good hairography from Kirsten, working the tail, ponytail there. But More importantly, working the twist.
Coming down to their side-by-side triples. They're doing the toe loop. Oh, Michael 2 foots just a little bit.
Nice placement of those jumps in the music, though.
Yeah. Great program by my friend, choreographer Julie Marcotte. Works with all the Montreal teams and does a fantastic job. She's a fly girl.
5 elements in the program. You're looking right now at the spin combination. There'll be 1 change of foot and about 1,000 changes of position. As well as the 5 pair elements, there are a couple of solo elements as well. You've already seen the jumps. That was the step sequence. And they are going through this gauntlet. It really is a gauntlet. It's so tricky. And they're making it look easy, and I've never seen Michael more relaxed.
Kirsten's face says it all. She's happy with that one. Moore Towers and Michael Marinaro of Canada at their first Worlds together. Did not qualify last season, but they are here this time around.
And on very short notice, too, if it wasn't for the injury to Julianne Segara and Charlie Bilodeau, the Canadian silver medalists, Kirsten and Michael wouldn't have got the chance to compete here. And after that terrible fall that they had at Nationals.
That was tough to see her in the hallway in tears and pain. Couldn't sit down.
No, they had rib injuries, they had hip injuries, they had ego injuries. I mean, it was really hard, but they got up in the program and finished well, clean, in fact.
Right after they did that, they landed the side-by-side triple toes and went on to skate a clean performance. Talk about guts.
Well, they did pick up their first Grand Prix medal this season together. 3rd place at Skate Canada.
Is that twist?
A little assistance from his shoulder, maybe. And
looked a little like that. Which can cause the level to drop a little bit.
And Michael did have a 2nd foot down on that landing. Very small mistakes, and they don't matter until they matter. And that would be often in the pairs event. The teams are very consistent, and the scores are jam-packed at the top, so sometimes that 0.7 or 1.2 can make a difference.
And we've seen them shaky with lifts.
Yes.
That looks the most sturdy I've also seen them.
Michael was really stable.
Michael was not only stable, but he was in the music. His face was relaxed. He was, he was acknowledging his partner and having fun. It was really top-notch stuff.
She flew on that triple loop. She was just riding the air.
Look of happiness on her face there, maybe a look of relief as well on his. We got through it, the short, it's done. And I think we did all right. Oh, he's got some pictures there.
Always nice. There's Bruno Marcotte and Richard Gauthier, heads of the Montreal pair school.
Of Canada.
Well, 68.18 is what they'd be looking for to take the lead from fellow Canadians. And they're not far behind. 66.06. Spots 1 and 2 right now, occupied by Canadians.
On behalf of Germany, a warm welcome now for Alyona Savchenko and Bruno Masson.
Here come the German champions. Alyona Savchenko, Bruno Masson. Silver at Euros this year as well. She definitely the more accomplished pair skater, 5-time world champion, 2-time Olympic bronze medal winner with previous partner, Robin Salkawi. And let's see what they can do together at the Worlds for the first time.
Europeans was a good test, but I can tell you the skating world has really been waiting for this event, the World Championships, to suss out exactly what this new team can do.
Ooh, fly. We could have reached out and touched her in that twist. Wow.
She loved doing this throw with Robin Salkovi, her former partner, straight up, and it's just huge. 2-foot landing. She won't like that.
Great choreography into the side-by-side triple toe loop, staying in closed hold right almost until they did the element. Super. Great choreography in this program by former world ice dancer Rostislav Sinitsyn. He's done a wonderful job of showing them off.
Bruno admitting that with so much success that Savchenko had with her previous partner, that he knows all eyes will be on him and how he'll be able to keep up with her.
We'll get into that later.
The crowd here seems to have liked it. Alyona Savchenko, Bruno Masson, this year's German champions and silver medalists at Euros, debuting as a pair for the first time and together for the first time at the World Championships. Will have their marks when we return here in Boston on CBC Sports. Germans bowing, the crowd definitely liking their performance. What did you guys make of it? Again, knowing, as I said before going to break, Bruno said, I know eyes are going to be on me, constantly comparing me to Robin.
Well, I think it's amazing how at 32 years of age, Alyona still has that hunger to get that elusive Olympic gold medal. And, you know, Bruno has stepped right up for her. They look so evenly matched. For a new team, almost
they did not look like a new team.
They did not at all.
But that's Aliona's, you know, he's in her wind screen and just,
Yes.
you know, she's pulling him along. You know, she's one of the best in the business, in the history of our sport. Yes, so I wasn't comparing him to Robin. I unfortunately was comparing him to her. And I feel like skating-wise, you know, Bruno and Aliona were done for the day. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
The crowd once again cheering because they're showing that exact same replay on the big screen here.
Yeah. Bruno and Aliona were done for the day. No, Bruno, you're staying and you're skating. Skating, skating, skating. Because I think that that's where he gets left behind. I think that he was involved in the program. He looked even quite confident. But
his partnering was good.
His partnering
yes,
was very
excellent.
good. I mean, to just see those two. And it's unfortunate she didn't nail that throw.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just too darn big.
But I agree with you. The basic skating skills compared to her
Not there.
are not quite there.
And there's a stiffness to his upper body that I thought resonated his nerves
I think
a little
that's
bit.
terror. Yeah. All eyes on you, right?
But,
All eyes on you.
is that the new craziest twist in the skating world?
Oh, wow.
Is that it? Is that the new benchmark?
I'd like to put that in Tatiana and Max's side by side and see which is the biggest.
Well, she was definitely happy with her partner's performance.
And let's face it, she's the most important person to please today.
That's right.
Well, 68.18 is what they need to take the lead, and 74.22 is what they get. So both Canadian teams just get knocked down a slot. Speaking of those Canadian teams, let's hear from one of them with Scott.
Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael Marinaro, a personal best in the short program. How's that feel, Kirsten, after being hurt a little bit at the national championships and getting the late call to come here to the World Championships?
It felt amazing. I thought that we were going to feel perfectly fine, and we did, but a little bit of nerves came back from our twist incident at nationals, so I'm glad that we overcame our national skate and we showed what we were really capable of.
Contrary to Kirsten, Michael, you're a World Championship rookie. First impressions?
Our goal was to come here and skate like we've been doing in practice and get a personal best, and that's exactly what we did. So we're going to try and do the same thing tomorrow and keep on building.
Congratulations and all the best to you both.
Thank you very much.
Strong skates by both the Canadian pairs as we get set for the next flight of pairs. This is where we are going to see the reigning Olympic champions as well from Russia. There they are, just stepping off the ice, or at least Volosojar is. And first we're going to see another pair from Russia, Evgenia Tarasova and Vladimir Morozov. This team as well in their second season of senior competition. This is their second Worlds. Last year, strong performance for them, finishing 6th overall. You know, we were admiring that twist by the Germans earlier. They've been trying this pair right here, the quad twist. And it's actually leading, or it did lead to a shoulder injury for her. So they kind of put it on the back burner, but we'll see what they attempt.
You know you're good when most people can't do your opening pose. The trouble may come not in the first element, but the second one. The side-by-side jumps have been giving them trouble all season.
No trouble with the triple twist. Very close to the boards on the exit of the triple toe, second one. Oh, beautiful position in the air by Evgenia on the throw triple loop.
One element just weaves into the next one.
In the past, some people have felt their performances have been a little bit hampered by not choosing music that connects as well with the audience and the judges, but I think with Riverdance, they've hit the money.
Any kind of Celtic rhythm always brings out the stomping feet and the clapping hands.
It looks like everyone should skate to Celtic music.
Little two-step there by him near the end that I'm sure he didn't want to do, but Evgenia and Vladimir pretty pleased with their performance here. The pair from Russia, two-time Euro bronze medalists, and the reigning national bronze medalist from Russia will have their marks when we return. That is Alexa Shemeka that you just saw there from the United States, but right behind her, the reigning world champions from Canada, Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford. We'll see them in just over 45 minutes time here as they will begin their journey in defending their title, but we just finished watching the Russians, Evgenia and Vladimir, take to the ice.
The Russians are always polished, well-trained, and they have a way of making their lines when they take their leg and their arm and they put it into the sky. It just seems to keep going. The twists, they just teach their students twists so well.
So well. It's almost a Russian favorite, isn't it, element.
And
they were very focused.
I don't think you make the team.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Little lean, and congratulations to her. She didn't give up on the jump. She didn't panic. She corrected it as soon as that blade touched the ice. She corrected it with her torso or her core strength. And this.
Beautiful. Look at the flight path. Like a 747 coming down.
A very smooth landing. Upper core body strength working there as well, but so calm. What wasn't there for me was the showmanship.
Yeah, it was all business.
It was all business in the first half, and then the music kicked in, the Celtic kicked in, but Aliona's partner, Robin Sokovi, ex-partner, on the left side of your screen.
74.23 are the marks we're looking for them to take the lead. And 72.00 on the nose will put them in second. And yes, you mentioned Savchenko's former partner, so Savchenko with her new partner is still in the lead for Germany. The Russians right behind them.
Competing on behalf of France, let's welcome to the ice Vanessa James and Morgan Seabred.
Vanessa James, originally born Canada, Scarborough, Ontario, representing France.
She doesn't dress like a Scarborough girl, not the ones that I've seen.
I'm going to take issue with that. I'm going to say only a Scarborough girl could carry that off. Thank you very much.
I stand corrected.
Since my club is in Scarborough, I'm backing them up. But it is a stunning, stunning costume.
Well, I think on the hanger it probably looks nice, but on her,
takes on a whole new level of gorgeous.
Done talking about it.
acrobatic exit. As I mentioned before, the judges rewarding difficult entry and exits to the lift, so we're seeing a lot more creativity in that aspect. Holding on, Vanessa.
'Vanessa and Morgan are one of those teams that if things go wrong, the program can unravel really fast. But today, they seem really secure in all their elements and bringing a nice level of showmanship to the program. The music, I Put a Spell on You, a popular choice this week. I think this is the 4th time we've heard it this week already.
I was going to say 3rd or 4th for sure.
Five-time and reigning national French champions Vanessa James and Morgan Seacrest. This is their 5th World Championships. Last year finishing in 9th and definitely looking pleased with their performance here. They will take their bow and then await their marks as we return on CBC. Welcome back to Boston. Vanessa James blowing kisses, waving to fans here. This is the pair from France, James and Morgan Seacrest. And once we got over how great her outfit was, and it stands out, let's be honest, it's really different. Most of the girls wear skirts, and this was great to see. And also, their performance was strong.
Well, I think that they're strong individually. They had a lot of energy to this program. I Put a Spell on You, and they kept up to it. They're very they're one of those teams where it seems like you sped up the tape as you're watching them scurry along from one element to another.
Yeah, most of their elements were very well completed. They struggled a little bit on their death spiral. I don't know if we're going to see that again. Didn't quite complete the amount of rotations you need with the lady down and the boy in the full pivot position to get the highest level. And those tiny little mistakes can, in the end, impact your score greatly if the scores are really close together. And
I knew there was a problem. It was that they just didn't complete enough revolutions in that low position. I know that the toe pick from the man has to stay in. I believe his buttocks, as they call it, has to be lower than his knee.
So many things to think about.
74.23 is what they're looking at if they want to take the lead. Or at least 68.18 to be in the top 3, and just missed. 66.69, but that is a season's best for them. So still something to be proud of for them. Handshakes and some high fives going around with their coaches as well.
Maybe they're still in music mode. They're still cool.
Very cool outfits.
Cool. Speaking of cool, like his outfit, I really do.
Feng Peng, Hao Zhang of China.
I don't think I'd argue with Hao about anything, but he's such a gentle giant, I don't think you'd need to. He's a sweetheart.
Big age difference there too, right? 18 for her, 31 for him. Taking on a bit of a mentor role with her as well.
But many a good tune is played on an old fiddle, Andy. He's an excellent pair partner. Excellent.
learn from someone. How about him? 2006 Olympic silver medalist and multiple world medalist with his former partner.
Look how nicely he's sitting in that pivot on the death spiral. No question about that one.
No.
Oh dear. And now she has to race and catch up. He's got to keep the choreography going. Oh, and they missed their side-by-side triple in unison. Oh dear. It's a problem in the pair programs. They have to complete 7 elements. It's a lot of things. The elements come very close together. So if you have a bad fall like she did, and the next element is coming and you miss it, it's disaster for you.
A tough performance for Zheng Peng and Hao Zhang of China. She goes down into the boards, but she's one tough cookie, got right back up, but the judges don't reward toughness. We will have their marks when we return here in Boston. Don't go anywhere.
Road to the Olympic Games is presented by Petro-Canada, building tomorrow's Team Canada.
They've been in constant conversation since their program ended. Zheng Peng and Hao Zhang of China talked about the experience that he has at 31, an Olympic medalist, a world medalist. She's only 18, and if something like this is going to happen, I mean, look to him to help.
It's just one of those moments, you know, you almost don't know what to do. Beautiful death spiral. First element was absolutely gorgeous. He's right down low, she's right down, off to a great start. But unfortunately, when you have a big disaster like that, and now he has to go. He's got no choice. He knows the next element's coming. She's going to try and catch up, race down the ice. He's got to jump. He's going to go, and he goes, because he has no options. And she tries to catch up, but unfortunately, when you do that, if you're not together with your partner, it's done. It's over.
Deep sigh, because you know, they were so poised to make a splash, and you know, she was ready. She was finally, you know, really ready, and that toe pick just wasn't strong enough to keep that upper body from keeping going. Just sometimes the throw is just too big.
Their short program score.
This is going to hurt as much as the crash into the boards.
More.
60.01 puts them in 7th. That's off their season's best of 68.10. And now they have a lot of time to sit and think. While some strong pairs take to the ice, including this one. Reigning Olympic gold medalists, Tatiana Volosojar, Maxim Trankov. This pair got married this summer. And as strong as they are, they too have been dealing with a lot of setbacks, a lot of injuries. This is their comeback trail as well. The last time they were at Worlds was 2013, and they won it. But welcome back to the World's ice here in Boston. Can they regain their title?
In the past, we've seen teams from Russia attempt something that is a little out of their comfort zone. I think that they do this choice very well.
And the battle of the Russian twists gets better and better.
Difficult entrance. But not such a difficult landing. Triple sow cows.
Oh,
Same as, sorry, go ahead.
That didn't go off correctly. Went out to the side and she had to put her other foot down to keep her balance.
Exact same landing as Alyona Savchenko from Germany.
What we were saying about Celtic music is the same for Bollywood. Always gets the crowd going.
There's their difficult entrance. Nice slow pivot. Look at the lean back. That's commitment to the move. Steady. Oh, a little tiny struggle at the end. Nothing to worry about.
Tatiana Volosojar, Maxim Trankov, the Russian champions, the European champions, missed all of last season because of injury. This year, had to withdraw from one of their Grand Prix assignments because of a heel injury to her. So still a little hampered by the injury bug, but then regained their national and European title, and now they're hoping to regain their world title. A lot of Russian love here as you see the Russian flags in the crowd.
100 years of history.
Such quality in their skating. Their side-by-side skills are so intricate and delicate and well-placed.
When they became a team, they were a team immediately.
Yes.
Their skating skills and their personalities. He's loud and wild, and she's consistent and pure and quiet.
Elegant.
So the things that have stayed since Sochi, the twist.
Yes, gorgeous.
Every time that they touched each other, then all the old instincts kick in.
So secure on the landings of those side-by-side triple salchows.
It really was just the last 25 or 30 seconds. In the last 2 spins, you saw a chink in the armor. The back
death spiral.
Thank you. Was looking so good. And then the last spin kind of got slow. I would worry about some of the levels there. Max is not quite moving as quickly as he was a year and a half ago. But his salesmanship is just as good as ever.
Yeah. Like we said, it's very hard to take a year off and then come back to the top level of competitive skating.
Patrick Chen tonight.
Yeah.
He's got to do it.
Yeah.
Well, and he also had the shoulder surgery, and he admitted that it took longer than he expected to recover from that surgery. And you see how much lifting the man has to do in pairs.
Pairs is brutal.
So that is definitely hard on the shoulders. 74.23, the mark they're looking for to take the lead.
Their short program score,
77.13, no problem. They will take the lead right now. But they're staying straight-faced because they know there are some heavy hitters to come, including the reigning world champions, Duhamel and Radford, leading the final flight warm-up.
Welcome back. Road to the Olympic Games on CBC, presented by Petro-Canada and the ISU World Figure Skating Championships for 2016 in Boston. Final flight in the pair short program on the ice, including the world champions Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford of Canada. Heading into the Grand Prix final in Barcelona, they had won 10 events in a row. They felt they were very fortunate to be second at Grand Prix final. Their problem all season long has been an inconsistent short program. And then they had to withdraw from the Four Continents Championships because of an illness to Megan. But they have come back strong now. We ran into one of their coaches, Richard Gauthier, on the bus, and he says all systems go for these championships and the defense of the title. They have to put it on the line now. Back to Andy, Carol, and Kurt.
Thank you, Scott. Megan and Eric, we're looking poised to go undefeated this season, just like last year. Scott said, just some little bumps in the road, but this is a team that definitely stays mentally focused. They're on the same page, and they know what it takes to win because they're winners, and they are coming in as well, defending their national title. They are 5-time Canadian champs. Here are the Russians, though, the team that did beat them in the Grand Prix final. And the Chinese as well. She is dealing with a brutal ankle injury that they said is going to need surgery. So she is in absolute pain.
It's been all business on practice for them. Not a lot of smiling.
A lot of icing as well, I can only imagine, going on that ankle after every time she skates on it. And here is the American pair of Shemeka and Knierim. They will be getting married this summer. But right now, a lot of focusing to do.
Love has been in the air, I think, this year.
Yeah.
Lots of marriages.
Megan looking very pretty today.
Warming up her Lutz. They'll be the only team to try side-by-side triple Lutzes in the event.
Couple extra points available to them there.
Yeah, big time. They've made that element their own, really.
So here's a look at the order of skaters. Stolbova Klimov is who we will see first from Russia. Sway and Han of China. Shemeka and Knierim, no doubt, will bring the crowd to their feet. They will see an American pair take to the ice. And then the Canadians, Duhamel and Radford, they begin their quest to defend their world title. 2 straight years they were bronze medalists. They had enough of that. And they were on a rampage after the 2014 Olympics. They were not happy with their 7th place finish. We had the pair come into our studios in Sochi, and it was stone-faced. Megan was not pleased, and you knew something was going to be done. And it was, because they won everything. And they want to continue that going into 2018.
Megan looks very relaxed out there today.
It's interesting. I was thinking that having the world title under your belt, she and Erica are world champions for the rest of their lives. This has been a tough season for them, and this will be a tough fight if they can get back up to the top and defend their podium, the top place on that podium. They're going to have to work for it. But then it wouldn't be worth it, then would it?
Well, then Megan and Eric have never shied away from working hard. They have a terrific work ethic. And like you say, Megan is one of the most determined people on the planet. And if anybody can make something happen, it will be her.
And she's really also become a role model for a lot of Canadian skaters, looking to her for nutrition, workout. She, of course, proud vegan, and said that's what's made her feel stronger. It's given her more energy.
Well, it's not that she works out a lot, it's that she has to carry her own food everywhere. That's why her arms are so strong.
All right, well, we're going to see another title awarded later on CBC Sports. That will be in the men's category tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live streaming as well on cbcsports.ca. Patrick Chan right now sitting in third after the short program. Looks like it could be a good battle between him and Fernandez of Spain for second. The only reason why I say that, not that I'm trying to be negative, but Yuzuru Hanyu set such an incredible mark in that short program that unless he really trips over his own feet and goes into the stands.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. He's
I
not
think
losing
3 times even.
First up, we have the Russian pair, Ksenia Stolbova, Fedor Klimov. Had to withdraw from Euros and Nationals because of injury.
Her face is like the Mona Lisa. It's always the same, but you can read into it something different every time.
I've heard this song before. But let's see their interpretation.
It's the theme of the World Championships this time around. Oh, that's so great. You have to be a skater to know how hard getting up and into that spread eagle is.
Right off the bat, they set themselves apart.
No extra grade of execution on that one, I'm sure. Landing a little low in the twist, but going high on the throw. Nice.
Beautiful side-by-side triples. Huge.
Best side-by-sides of the night so far.
And they have an intense rivalry with their training mates. Volodymyr and Trankov currently in first place. Same coach, same training site, but they never train on the same ice. Unlike Javier Fernandez and Yuzuru Hanyu, who take energy from each other, these four just don't seem to want to spend time together.
And this is their first time as well going head-to-head with Volodymyr and Trankov since the 2014 Olympics on home ice.
That's right.
Where Stolbova and Klimov finished second.
But I thought they won the long program.
Ksenia Stolbova, Fedor Klimov of Russia, winners of the Grand Prix final this season after a shaky start. It was a 4th place at Skate America, but then nabbed gold at the Cup of Russia.
One more time from Russia, Ksenia Stolbova and Fedor Klimov.
And the pair from China is who we will see next here on Road to the Olympic Games in Boston. The Russians Stolbova and Klimov. And we've said this before in the other disciplines. You know, everyone is obviously here to win. They want to beat all the competition. But then there's that internal competition. Yeah. Canadians against Canadians, Russians against Russians, Americans against Americans. So they want to show Volosojar and Trenkov that they're the top Russian pair.
What I love about these two is they bring a relentless, restless intensity to every performance. From the second they start to move, you literally cannot take your eyes off them. They grab you and they keep you.
Completely agree with you. I just felt that at the last 2 elements, like at the end of the footwork, they didn't keep the intensity alive. And you know what, that doesn't really change the technical marks so much, in that you lose that little magic elixir that you've created for the first half, and even the last pose was kind of, sorry, I just quite missed it. So for me, they didn't bullseye it. They didn't quite bullseye it, and of course the triple twist, you know, they lost. They gave up whatever grade of execution the judges might have given them, and on top of the element, I'm sure they had a little negative as well. So
I think the death spiral might have been slightly iffy in execution too today. It seems to be catching a lot of people out today.
Yeah, which is unusual.
Yeah,
death
it
spiral
is.
is usually kind of a checkmark move.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave up a little bit. I think tonight it wasn't a home run.
Well, Volosojar and Trenkov of Russia are holding on to the lead right now here in the short program. And they're going to need 77.14 to take the lead over the other Russian pair. They won't get it, 73.98. That will put them in the 3rd position. And they will not change their facial expression until the camera is off. And then they will discuss the performance.
I'm not sure if discuss is quite the right word.
And here come the pair from China, Wei Jing-sui, Zhang Han.
One of my favorite teams.
3-time and reigning 4 continents champions. And they are the reigning world silver medalists.
What a gorgeous opening. She has matured into such an intense, beautiful performer from the little girl we've watched grow up over the years.
Interesting crossing pattern into their jumps. Both in the air with a wonderful trajectory and the exact same timing on the landing, same curve on the landing. That was beautiful. Look at the patience.
And they are much smaller than a lot of the other pair teams in stature, but they skate so big, they take up so much space.
Hitting every beat, working the music, arm over the head for a flare. Then deductions on this move. Back outside death spiral, outside of her foot, holding it for his full complement of rotations.
He was counting very carefully. What an inspired choice of music for them from choreographer Laurie Nickel. It takes them in a whole different direction from what we've seen before.
Oh, that's cool. It's not a very technical term, but it was so cool. Perfection. The goal was set, the music was chosen, the elements were chosen, and then it all came together perfectly. That was wonderful.
Wei Jingsui and Zhang Han of China putting on a strong performance here and bringing the crowd to its feet. We'll have their marks when we return. Welcome back to Road to the Olympic Games presented by Petro-Canada. Wei Jingsui, Zhang Han of China putting together a strong short program here. And all I kept thinking about was her ankle. How they said she has completely severed the ligaments on both sides. She's relying on muscle strength to just stay standing, and then she goes and does this.
Well, the muscle strength must be phenomenal when you look at those triple toes. If she can do a triple toe like that with basically no ankle, wow.
Look at the extension, but it's not just the extension.
No.
It's the attention to the extension. Like the way that she can
look at the arm over the head. Oh my.
Awesome. The way that she can extend with attitude and flair. Nothing ever left the music. They're doing the most difficult moves on the planet, but they're doing it in the style of the music, to the music. And when you add high quality of perfection to every single element, then the big picture gets so huge, and the judges should pour points all over this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And she is such a star, and he knows exactly how to set her off, which is a talent all by itself. He's not fighting for attention. He's exactly where he should be all the time. He facilitates her being even more wonderful. Fabulous.
It's a good haircut on her, isn't it?
Oh, just somewhat like myself.
77.14, the marks we're looking for to take the lead. And they set a season's best, 80.65, to take the lead here in the short program.
Deserved.
Now go ice that ankle.
And he's going to come down there and strap it up for you in a minute.
And I'm going to pour her a glass of wine, too.
Not till she's finished.
Not till she's finished.
They represent the United States.
Well, that was a celebration.
Alexis Sameka, Chris Canarum, the American couple. Lost their national title this season, taking silver. A little motivated, I would say. They're very serious, all business.
Don't get in her way while she goes. Starting with the death spiral. He's down, he's got to count and count and wait and change the hands. Busy, busy, busy.
That has done well for them all season long.
It's a great element for them.
2 clean elements, 5 left.
Oh. Not today.
Beautiful posture on that landing, showing confidence and ease. Again, allowing the judges to offer up positive GOE, we call it. That's the grade of execution.
Alexa Semeka and Chris Kanarum of the United States. They're going to have to think that one through a little bit. Wanted a better performance here, looking to improve on their 7th place finish from Worlds last year.
From the United States,
It's been a strong season for them, though, this season, earning their first 2 Grand Prix medals. Silver at Skate America and bronze at NHK Trophy, qualifying for the Grand Prix final. But will it be enough? The Canadians are coming up next. Welcome back inside the Garden here in Boston, the 2016 World Figure Skating Championships. The American pair of Alexa Semeka and Chris Kanarum just took to the ice. Started off well.
Didn't appear to have any problems with the death spiral. Might have been a little bit of an issue with the rising up and down on the knee for Chris, but it seems to have gone quite well.
You don't want to rise above parallel.
No.
You can see the way Chris puts Alexa down a little bit. I mean, kind of matches the music, that aggressiveness.
They weren't really in
air.
sync a lot of the time, was one of my sort of issues with them. They looked like 2 people who'd found themselves on the ice at the same time but didn't really know why they were there. It wasn't a very connected performance for me.
Then it was a good choice of music. Do you know? Like, because it suited them, they were able to rock through it, but where the last skate had points added on everywhere, this one had little points potentially taken off.
Well, the body language says it all. 71.37 is a season's best for them, but puts them in 6th.
The damage could have been worse.
So they have a lot of work ahead of them.
they represent Canada.
And here come the reigning world champions, Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford of Canada. The Canadian flags coming up, making an appearance in the crowd. There's also a lot of those Megan and Eric heads.
Faces?
Those little faces, on sticks. There was a lot of Megan and Eric sightings earlier today.
You know you're a star when your face is on a stick.
Or a bobblehead.
But here are the real ones. And this is their short program.
This is the element coming up where they start to separate themselves from the herd. Technically, side by side, triple Lutz jumps.
Nailed it.
No preparation at all as they get together into that lift, turning both directions, difficult exit.
Megan's face says it all.
Joy.
Got it. Megan Duhamel and Eric Bradford of Canada, reminding everyone why they're the reigning world champions. And you know, for a pair that has still been on top of their game this season, they've had a little hiccups here and there, but they've still won just about everything they entered this season. This is the first time I'm really seeing them both very pleased with the short program. I don't think we're going to hear needed to do this, needed to do that. Or maybe, because if you're perfectionists, maybe.
No, what they captured was the right emotional tone, and somehow they were able to, with this music and with their emotions, especially Megan. Megan really carried the emotional aspect of this skate. They threw their skating up into the audience. Everyone caught it and threw the love back, and that's what you're picking up on. There were some little things, nothing really to worry about, but what they didn't do was just sort of go for that extra points. They kind of kicked the ball in, they didn't run for the extra points.
Did you just deflate me? Is that what you just
No,
did?
no, because they got all the big stuff done, all the major stuff, all the stuff they needed to do to build their confidence going into the long. They did.
See the landing on the twist, a little on the inside edge, a little tiny bit rough, and that's the triple Lutz landing on, I believe it was Eric who had to fight for it just a tiny bit, and a low landing on the triple Lutz. You see that, a little 2-foot. So there you go. You got moments where the judges can't go, oh, here's a little more.
Yeah.
So it was definitely mission accomplished. But like I said, I thought it was a really emotional experience.
Oh, you could see Megan's face after the first three elements were done. She was shining.
As bright as her dress.
Shining. Yes, absolutely. And I love the way Eric just, he's a magical partner, and he often gets overlooked. But the way, his calmness, the way, to me, he's the rock of the team. You know, Megan is the emotional tyro. You can see it right there. But Eric just brings that calmness. He's like the rock of Gibraltar.
They make a wonderful team.
They do. They really do.
You saw Megan there saying, finally. So they got that short. 80.86, though, is the score they're going to need to beat to take the lead away from the Chinese pair. 78.18. Megan's still very happy with that. Doesn't put them too far off, and it is a season's best for them, 72.74. is what they had all season long. So beating their season's best and knowing they're not that far off. More coming up from inside the Garden here in Boston on CBC.
Road to the Olympic Games, presented by Petro-Canada. Welcome back to Boston and the World Figure Skating Championships on CBC. The Paris short program is done, and the world champions Megan Duhamel and Eric Radford of Canada stand second, but with a personal best 78.18 in the short program. That looked fantastic. Your reaction was fantastic. Is that the sum of the parts?
Yeah. You know, it's been a rough season, and internationally, Eric and I have not done that program clean. We haven't hit the jumps and the throws this season. So that was our main focus coming to the World Championships. It's the last short of the season. We felt like we had a lot more potential than what we showed with this program all year. So to finally come out and do it the way that we know we can, it feels so good. And you know, it's the first time we're experiencing being trying to defend a World Championships. We felt nervous. You know, it's the greatest feeling when the music ends and you know that you've done your best job.
Erica, in the lead up to this, I know you wanted to calm yourself, to focus, to go back to the source in many ways. Have you done that, and do you feel that's paid off in this short program?
I think we definitely did it today. When we were backstage, we were both nervous, but centered. That would be the word I would use to describe it. Very centered. You feel the butterflies up high, but in your gut, you know, and you feel confident. And I think that was the difference between this moment and the rest of the season. That centered gut feeling, it was moving around too much. We couldn't catch it, we couldn't find it. And we finally did it tonight, so this just gives us so much confidence, especially for tomorrow heading into the long program.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for this, and good luck the rest of the way. Megan and Eric, the world champions. Andy, back to you.
Well, if they're going to find it at Worlds, and that's exactly what they seem to have done. So they're very pleased with that, and as they just admitted that it's something, the short program, that's been giving them problems all season long. But this is also, I would say, the sign of true champions.
Yes.
Megan alluding to the fact that this is the first time they're the ones having to defend a title. I know, Kurt, it's something you've been saying all season long. It's different when you're the one who's won.
It's like somebody touched you in the forehead and made you a completely different person when you win Worlds for the very first time. Everything is different. You become very self-aware. Every little injury, every little autograph, everything. And they had little moments tonight that they had to fight through, which they did and disguised well. You like the landing of the twist. Very small things that kind of kept them from first place, I would assume. The low landing of the throw. But as I said on the call, what they kept alive was the momentum of the music and the energy between the two. They were really world champions out there tonight.
They did set a season's best when it comes to the short program. They are within striking distance of first, which is why Megan was still looking really happy when they showed their score there. You can see what's separating them from the Chinese pair of Sui and Han, who are holding on to that top spot. But wow, the Chinese pair did put on a show here, and I'm still amazed that she's doing it really on one foot, because her other ankle is completely destroyed.
Oh, I think we were witness to absolute perfection in a short program for pairs tonight. They were absolutely magnificent. And they had sort of the opposite thing going on. They got all the extra little points. They did all the detail work. They were adding quality on top of quality with every element they did. And it all looked totally effortless.
With the difficult level as well. And so they didn't do the easy well, they did the difficult well, and it all came together. I thought the score could have even been higher.
Me too.
Well, and you have to imagine the Russian pairs, both of them, are not going to be very happy about this. Volosojar, Trankov, they want to get back not just on the World Championship podium, but they won it in 2013. They want to be the winners again. They were leading before China and Canada took to the ice. And Stolbova, Klimov, this has been their comeback season as well, looking so good. But right now the story is about China and Canada heading into the long program. And speaking of that Paris free, we will have it for you right here on CBC tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. It will also be live streaming on cbcsports.ca. Can Megan and Eric defend their world title? And tonight we will have another title that will be in men's, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live stream on cbcsports.ca. Canada's Patrick Chan sitting in third after the short, so we'll see you a little later.